Hello, everybody. Sorry we're a bit late. And
the usual. We were just chatting beforehand.
I've been like that a little bit all day, I think, because I was telling her earlier. I just sent her like the link like a half an hour ago because for some reason I thought it was Tuesday and not Monday. I don't know where my mind was. It's just been one of those days. And I was like, oh, shoot. I have to be upstairs and I got a host at the same, it's not like I can be late. I got a host.
Well, you had me thinking, I'm like, was it my week? Crap, it's probably my week. And I'm not even ready. It's like eating my soup for dinner.
And so are you going to be reading or what you going to be doing?
No, I'm going to be reading. I'm stitching. I am going to be reading again, just like yesterday. I was reading, oh my God, The Cursed by Heather Graham, the 12th in the Crew of Hunters. Mm-hmm. But I think on the first sprint, I'm going to do my 3 chapters of the Babysitter's Club book just because that'll help me clear my mind for today. Yeah. And I had to restart my Agatha Christie because I wasn't happy with the fabric. You couldn't see a lot of the colors. Oh, yeah. So I had to pick something else.
Color,
yeah. So hopefully this will work out better. But, So what are you reading?
I'm about to finish up The Tower Treasure by Franklin W. Dixon, the first of the Hardy Boys. Nice. Spoiler for a book haul that'll be coming later because I haven't hauled this yet.
Yay!
But I found it. I was like, I'm going to be reading that, and it's the first now. So I was like, pick it up. I think it was like, what was it? It has it right here. It was $2.
Oh, that's not bad.
So yeah,
I see a lot of those ones in my thrift stores.
Yeah, and so I have 6 minutes left of that audiobook, and then I will probably just work on a Discovery of Witches tonight because my eyeballs are just really tired. But if I do feel of interest, I do have my other 2 eyeball readers over here.
Did you see my video yesterday? Because I have a book haul at the very end, and I found the book that you read for oh God, what did we do? Retro Romance, the blue cover one. What is it? The Huntsman.
Oh, Beware the Huntsman.
I found I pulled it up like Storm read this book. And I bought it.
I like that one too. So
and that's what you'd said, right? Gary goes, "Is it any good?" I'm like, Storm thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was kind of fun anyway. That was the Playboy one. Yeah, that was the Playboy one for for those Harlequins from back then. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And hi, Alicia says hello, everyone. Currently reading "I Captured the Castle" by Dodie Smith, a classic read, and loving it. That's good. Excellent. And Grandma Susan said, good evening, all. Going to lie down and listen to an audiobook. Happy sprinting. Thank you for hosting. Well, thank you for being here. I hope you're feeling better. I think yesterday you weren't feeling very well. So.
Correct. Yeah.
Hi, Val says, hi, everyone. Tonight I'm listening to 6 Feet Deep Dish by Mindy Quigley. And I'll go, yay, because Tiffany's not here and she would.
That's right. Yeah.
Tiffany would have been here, but she had a friend come in and she thought he was going to be too tired to want to go out, but he wasn't. He wanted to go to dinner, so she ended up to go to dinner.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. And Petra said, hi, Alicia. I'm still working on some manga versions of Harlequin Romance on KU. They are cheesy good fun. I bet.
I think they're the Presents novels mostly, so you know that they're like really cheesy.
Yeah. I think I've seen some of the covers or whatever they
look pretty cool.
And Cajun says, hi, everyone. I'm reading Warned in Wisconsin, Rambling RV number 2. Sounds interesting. No, you weren't supposed to do that. Kim says, hi, everyone. Not sure what I'll be reading next. May watch YouTube videos.
That's acceptable.
That's cool. Yeah. And Cajun said to Susan, I hope you're feeling better today. Yeah. And Amy says, hi, everyone. I am currently reading A Batter of Life and Death by Ellie Alexander, the Bake Shop number 2.
Nice.
And Grandma says to Cajun, thank you. Esther says, a reading Murder Backstage number 58 of The Murder, She Wrote by Jessica Fletcher and Terry Farley Moran. This one's set in Canada and not Cabot Cove, but with Jessica, Seth, Mort, and his wife, Maureen. I
Oh,
think that's like
excellent.
one of the things that's interesting is like you get a little bit more of Mort in those books because in the TV series, like you always hear him talking about his wife or to his wife on the phone, but you never actually meet his wife.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's kind of interesting, like that they're all going together because it's like
That's awesome.
as far as I know, she was just like the person on the other side of the telephone. So
Kind of like the whole Maris and Frasier. If you ever saw Frasier, Niles' wife.
I never watched
If
Frasier.
you never ever saw her, but he always referred to her. I love that.
And
shit.
hi, Jenny says, hi, everyone. I'm 55 pages into Heartbeat by Sharon Sala. There already been 2 explosions, and I'm already had to break out the tissues. Uh-oh. Pretty sure this is going to be an excellent book. Sounds like it could be a roller
That
coaster.
does. I really like that author. She's fantastic.
And Amy says, I'm also listening to Blueberry Blunder by Amanda Flowers for Amish in April. Thank you for reminding me because I have forgotten already. I have the audiobook for the next Matchmaker one that I need to read. So I remember that I have the audio on Hoopla.
There you go.
And Barbara said, good afternoon, friends. My name is Barbara, and I'm reading The Mystery Guest, and dinner is up in the air. Well, what's it doing up in the air? Bring it down.
Tiffany would not stand for that. We need to know.
And Anita says, hi, everyone. Tonight I'm reading Spurred to Justice by Dolores Fawson.
Excellent choice.
And Mother Goose says, hi, everyone. Happy Earth Day. I'll be finishing Everyone is Beautiful by Kay Center and reading a variety of picture books.
Excellent.
And then Purple Reinhardt says, hi, everyone. Continuing on with In Farm's Way by Amanda Flowers. Hope you are enjoying that.
Is that the one y'all discussed yesterday?
Yeah. And he says, hi, all. Reading Lies That Comfort and Betray by Rosemary Simpson, number 2 in the Gilded Age Mysteries. Yay, I like that series.
That sounds like I like Gilded Age stuff.
Yeah, I like that series. It's about Prudence and Jeffrey. Jeffrey's like he was a Pinkerton, and then he becomes like a private detective thing on his own, and she helps in that.
Oh, cool.
So Emily says, I'm working on some Dresden File stories so that I can read Turncoat. Cool. Yeah, I never read like a lot of the short stories and things like that, so I probably missed out on some things, but I just never was a short story person.
No.
The only time I did read one, I don't know if it was before Ghost Story or after Ghost Story or whatever, because they're like, you really need to read this before you, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Sometimes like the novellas in between, they don't really do much for the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there's these ones that when you read the next book, you're like, did I miss something? And it's because you didn't read the short story.
The novella, right? Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. And it's like, wow.
Drives me crazy.
Emily says, don't know how long I'll last. I got about 3 hours of sleep last night. Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Cavs says, good evening. I'm reading Out of My Comfort Zone tonight. 9 Lives by Wendy Corsi Stubbs, first in the Lily Dell mystery series. I want to read that series, and I have like the first book, I think, or maybe it's not that one, but it's a different series by her. But I read a standalone thriller by her, and I was not impressed. So now I'm worried about this series.
Oh, I knew I heard the author's name somewhere. Okay, yeah.
And Pamela says, hi, everyone, listening to One Poison Pie this evening. Cool. And Alicia said, well, Petra, I'm always up for some cheesy good fun, so maybe I'll add a couple to my TBR.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Hi, Opal says, yay, I made it to the stream, ladies. I've missed you all. I'm halfway through The Playboy Meets His Match by Sarah Orwig. It's a silhouette desire from May of 2002. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you, Opal. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while.
For sure.
Lily Eve says, hi, I am reading Slammed by Colleen Hoover.
Oh, my favorite author.
Yeah. And
He
Opal
says
says,
sarcastically.
"Yeah. I love the sounds of that Murder She Wrote, Esther, and it's set in Canada. I need to start the series someday."
Yeah.
And in Martin says, Nancy here brought sandwich with skyline chili for dipping and a book. That's not my name. Cool.
Ooh, chili sounds delicious.
And I have to remember, in Martin is Nancy. Tried to remember. I'm really bad with names.
Y'all need to wear name tags or something.
Yeah, it's like they need to put their name first and then their comment every time. And then by the time I get done with the friend, maybe I'll know it.
Right? Yeah.
And Cajun says, anyone know what's going on with Audible Plus? A lot of my Plus books are showing as leaving 5.3, including The Murder She Wrote, Hamish Macbeth, and quite a few others.
I think
And
a couple
yes,
times a year. Sorry.
But she's like, and yes, I'm paid up. It renewed on the 24th. So
I think that a couple times a year they go through and purge the collection.
yeah,
And
that's
bring
what I
new
was
stuff in.
wondering.
That's
Bring
just my
in some other things.
Right?
Because like I even know like on streaming app, stuff. 1 month I can't get it for free. The movie I'm wanting to watch, but like 2 months after that, it's streaming somewhere free and
Right?
stuff. And so I always have to check because, and then there might be something that I'm like, oh well, it's on my streaming app. I'll watch it. That happened with Overboard because I was like, well,
Okay.
it's on the streaming app, but it was on there last month. And I'm like, well, I'll watch it, this month for Old School April. And then it wasn't on a streaming app for free.
Oh no.
They had taken it off. So I'm like, oh no. And I managed to get it from the library, but I was like, oh. So yeah, they could be doing that. Maybe they're decided to change out their catalog or something.
I know that happened here. Like they took the X-Files off of Netflix Canada. And my brother told me, he's like, you have to finish it this month. I'm like, I'm only on season 1. That's too much pressure.
Yes, I can't do it. That's a lot.
I'm just gonna have to quit my job.
Yeah, Opal says, everyone is beautiful and is one of my favorite Mother Goose. Such a great book. I hope you're loving it. Cool. And the Barbara says, I got one of them first world problems. 4 books came in on Libby. I don't want to read them now, but I feel guilty like I will hurt their feelings. Oh,
It
if
is a book.
If you push deliver later, you're gonna hurt their feelings. Like, I don't want to right now. I'm sorry.
I love Deliver Later. Love it, love it, love
me
it.
too. I do, but and then there's this point where it's like, if I deliver later like 10 times, does it really mean I want to read this book?
Right? Yeah, because it is. It's kind of a way of you being like, no, not right now. And then it's like, no, I really don't want to read this.
Yes, like, because I have after a while, it's like, realistically, I don't think I'm ever going to read this book. So I cancel hold.
Yeah, exactly. Let somebody else have it.
And Opal says, how many Hamish books have you read, Cajun? I love the audios from him. Emily says, just read a novelette from Thomas's point of view that was interesting in the Dresden Files. Cool. Hi, Reading and Retail says, hi, Stormy. I'm reading Diamond Fire by Iona Andrews. Ooh, I like that series. It's fantastic. It's a novella. Now I want the entire series. I like that series. Except for, I hope that they would make 3 books for the last sister or whatever, because they didn't do that. And I want hers, but I don't know. Cajun says, Opal, I think I'm up to Hamish number 7. I love them too.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And Opal says, loving your shirt today, Sarah. All the flowers.
Thank you. Thrift store find for $3.
That's usually where you can find some of the good stuff.
Yep.
And Esther Jane said yes, and they had a Toronto Pearson Airport.
They had it at Toronto Pearson Airport. That's our big airport. Interesting.
And Lily says, I love her too. And says, Opal, my favorite stone above a diamond.
Oh, that's nice.
And Opal says, I read the first book on ebook and I did the audio form number 6. I really liked that one so much better. Christmas with even a sick Hamish was fantastic.
That's cute.
Hello, Sue says, hi, Stormy and Sarah. Sorry I'm late. I got involved in a book I was finishing. Well, that's okay.
That's a perfectly acceptable reason.
And Barbara says, Storm, just so you know, my name is Barbara.
Thank God, Barbara.
Thank you,
I was getting
Barbara.
confused.
The only thing with her is like, I don't know if you mind if I call you Barb sometimes, because like my friend's name is Barbara, but she doesn't like Barbara, so she wants to be called Barb. So I get used to saying Barb when I see Barbara, and so sometimes I'm like Barbara.
Yeah.
And then Lily laughed. And Ella, yeah, smart Alex in the comments.
Just Barb. Just Barb.
Gaten says, I just love how he speaks for Hamish. You can hear when he just wants to smack someone. And hi, Christina says, hi, ladies. I finally got to read after a crazy musical rabbit hole. Yeah, you were on a music rabbit hole early this morning when she was on Nicole Sprint. Then lost track of time reading my book, Summer of 69 by Ellen Hildebrand, giving great big hugs to the like button. And I think it was because of that Summer of 69 is what sent her down the rabbit hole of the music thing, because she looked up that like song, I think.
By Bryan Adams. I heard it just the other day on Spotify. It's a good song.
Hi, Donna says, howdy, Storm and Sarah and everyone. Still reading Murder at Amish Bridegroom by Patricia Jones. Cool. And Sarah, I wondered if maybe contacts were up for renewal or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Okay, so we should probably jump into a reading sprint because it is 23 after.
Sounds good.
And nothing fancy here. So we'll just read to the top of the hour. And I have my little banner. Happy reading, everyone. So how did everybody do?
Perfect timing. I got 3 chapters read of the Babysitter's Club book.
Cool.
Which one are you reading?
Boy Crazy Stacy.
Favorite. I just finished reading Do You Remember by Frida McFadden.
Oh, nice.
Do you like that one?
I loved it.
Have you read one of hers that you didn't like yet?
No. Like a crappy one by her is 4 stars for me. I love them.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know a lot of people really like her. I've only read The Housemaid, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with her.
Okay.
And hello, Lee.
Hi.
And what are you reading, Lee?
I just finished that, so now I'm either going to go into The Familiar by Lee Bardugo, or totally opposite, Amish Country Secret.
Is that Love Inspired Suspense? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I've discovered I really, really enjoy.
Yeah. They're not bad. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
They are. It just so happens the one that you were reading, I just really didn't like.
I know that was, but you know what? Though, when I was when I was talking, that was like a buddy read with Sharon, and we were talking. She's like, "But you really had to like suspend belief for this one." I'm like,
Right?
"Yeah, agreed." So, but
But
just
they're
got
still
better
fun.
to me. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was like okay, you know, and I like the whole Amish culture part of things too.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed.
Well, I finished the Tower Treasure, which it tells you like how much I read more like middle grade like horrors and things like that. I keep wanting to call it the Tower Terror instead of the Tower Treasure.
That's funny.
It's very different.
But I liked it. It's the first time I think I've ever read Hardy Boys. I don't think I
Oh,
ever
really?
read Hardy Boys. Yeah. I mean, if I did when I was younger, I don't remember. So, yeah.
If I did, it was only like the Nancy Drew Hardy Boys,
The
right?
crossover
So it's
ones,
like
yeah.
they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, see, I don't even know if I remember reading like Nancy Drew. So, I don't remember a lot of what I read when I was a kid. It's like, it's not there.
I loved Nancy Drew and I loved Hardy Boys, and when they teamed up, that was like superstars.
Oh, I know.
Superstars for me.
I know. I was just. I loved those books so much. I love them more than Nancy Drew.
Yeah, I see it.
And I know listen to some of Discovery Witches. So.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. So Opal says they did get that with Pretty Little Liars on Netflix here in Canada. I was rewatching season 4 and had 3 seasons left, but now you can't get it on any streaming services in Canada. How rude! I get that. Yes. And Amy says I have Audible Plus, as they gave my deal of 3 months at 99 cents a month. Yes, I get Zodiac Academy number 9 final book for 99 cents on my credit. Otherwise, even with buying the book, it was $7.50.
Yep.
They were talking about, I don't know if you have Audible Plus or not, Lee,
Yeah.
but Cajun said some of the books that she was reading were leaving or whatever, like a lot of the stuff, and she like, what's going on with them? But we were like, maybe their contracts are up, or
That's true.
like, getting rid of some to put some more in or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they always say that they change them up, but I mean, I don't know.
Hi, and is it Joanne? Is that your name? I've seen you on Sprints. I can't remember, but JK said, "Hi everyone, what are you guys reading tonight?" And so, well, I'm reading on Discovery of Witches. My eyeballs are tired, or I'd be eyeball reading, but I was like, so. And I'm pretty sure you heard what everybody else was reading. So.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy said, so I'm just now getting into Audible Plus catalog again. And Opal says, even better when you can find it for a steal, Sarah.
I'm all about deals.
Yep. And then Opal says, okay, thanks to reading in retail. And Moira. I always think I'm going to say it wrong. Moira says, hi, Stormy. Hi, Sarah. And now, hi, Lee. I'll just add that.
Yeah.
I was snoozing, I think. I may do that in the middle of listening to.
Right? Yeah.
Mother said, yes, I'm laughing and crying at everyone is beautiful.
Oh, excellent.
And Cajun says, at first I thought Barbara was your Barb or a Barb I used to work with because the humor is the same.
Oh, that's funny.
And then Opal, like, I love that song. It's the
Summer of 69 by Bryan Adams.
Oh, I do like that song.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara says, I don't care. People call me Margaret or Strawberry.
Okay.
Now, Margaret, I'm thinking is maybe that your middle name or your first name and you like to go by your middle name or, you know, how that goes. But Strawberry, I was like, I'm not sure how the Strawberry comes in.
I could see Barbara Margaret.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you know.
Strawberry, are you a redhead? Were you a redhead? Maybe. Just guessing.
Or like that Strawberry Blonde.
Strawberry Blonde.
Esther says Jessica and company headed to Edmonton.
Oh, okay. Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
And Christina said, yes, the title and all the chapters too. The playlist would be great, but not exactly the rabbit hole I went down. I may have to compile a playlist just for this book. That could be fun. Yeah, she was talking about earlier. She went down the music rabbit hole because she's reading The Summer of '69, and that kind of got her.
Oh, the Ellen Hildebrand one?
Yeah.
I love that one. I mean, which one don't I love? But, you know.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
And Books for Monica. Hello. Says, finishing up The Unmasking of June Farrow. And Barbara says, Cajun, I just might be. And then lots of people saying hi to
Hello.
Hi, Beth. Says, good evening, everyone. Christina says, it looks dark there, Sarah. Hubby wants to know it. That's what they call
it. It's so I can see my stitching. When I turn this light on, of course, the camera goes dark, right? So it's the light. It's actually brighter. I could perform surgery with that light on.
It's your stitching light, huh?
Right? So I'm trying to give Miss Marple here a face, and I need to be able to see what I'm doing.
There you go.
And Val made it to 86%. And Amy said, I got to 43% in A Batter of Life and Death.
Nice.
And Emily said, read some, got the coffee pot ready for tomorrow, and made my lunch.
Super productive right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Purple Reinhardt says 28 pages. Anita got to 89%. And he said, Storm, I'm glad you like the Gilded Age Mysteries too. Have you read them all? I have read all of them except for the newest one that has come out. And I like them all. And Maura says, I got a couple of chapters read in the Toxic Toffee.
Nice.
Yay for the Amish candy shop. Kim says,
Yay for all the Amish books.
What? Yay for all the Amish books, yeah.
Yeah, and thank you all for participating. I do, really appreciate it. Our silly little readathon.
Kim watched Freedom Farmhouse live. Love all of her kitties. Cool. And Christina says, I'm at 52% now, and the hubby brought home supper and one bite of fries, and I feel full. Don't know what that is about. Oh, that's not right. Just one bite of fries.
Yeah, no.
It's like, were they not good fries? Because Opal says, I read The Housemaid's Secret, and I loved it so much. I've been collecting her other books. I think The Housemaid's Secret's the second book in that.
Yeah.
And everything. And I do have that one. I'm going to see if Barb wants to get to it at some point, because we did both buddy read the Housemaid. So I'm kind of curious to see where it's going to go and if it's going to go in a way I don't like because I'm not a huge fan of morally gray characters. They're not. And Sue says, made dinner, ate, and read a few pages. Jenny got 27 pages. Petra says, finished my Harlequin manga, and it had sexual harassment, a secret husband, snotty in-laws, and a totally random interior design plot.
That's the whole review. That's right there. It's perfect.
It sounds like a good sum up.
Right?
And Annie got 30%, and Opal says, I'm 70% in my book now. Yay! Nice. And Cav says, I can't believe how much I'm loving 9 Lives, Lily Dale. It's set in the village of spiritualists and written in present tense, which I usually don't like.
Yes.
See, it's kind of good to go out of your comfort zone every now and then. You find one you like. Sometimes that's not the case, but sometimes you find
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
Yep. It's like me with contemporary middle grade. I don't read it a whole lot because I'm not really a huge fan, but if I do read it, a lot of times I find one that I really like. I think more or less it depends on what I pick, like what the plot's going to be of the contemporary.
True enough.
True.
Bye. And Beth says, glad you liked the Hardy Boys, Storm. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was kind of fun. I like the fact that like they work with their father, and their father's like a private detective, and like he helps them, and then they help him, and all that kind of stuff. It was interesting because like he figured out the main stuff, and then he's like, I'll let you guys find the treasure because it's going to be super easy, and it wasn't. Because they all thought it was going to be in this one tower and it wasn't there. And they're like, well, where could it be? So then they had to use their brains a little bit.
Oh, my.
And Kim says, my favorite is Nancy, but I have read a lot of the Hardy Boys as an adult. I'll have to read a few of the Hardy Boys and then I'll have to switch over to Nancy. I've not read the Nancy ones either. So. And Birdie in the Books. Alicia said, good evening, everyone. And Opal says, Nancy Drew and Trixie Belden are my favorites. I need to try the Hardy Boys. I haven't even read a crossover yet. Oh, no.
They were good.
See, the crossovers, though, were the more modern Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
So the Nancy Drew case files and the Hardy Boys case files that came out in the 80s. You might want to try and find those, Storm. You can usually find them on ebook, and I'm pretty sure Hoopla or Everand has them.
Yeah, and with the Hardy Boys, there's like 3 different audiobooks that I could like get from and things like that. Because there's a lot of them. But I like got one off of Hoopla, and I was like, I don't like this narrator. So I went searching for other ones because I would have read it a long time ago, but like at the beginning of the month, but I didn't like that, and I had to put it on hold because it was out. I did a sample because what I'll do is I'll go on to I've signed up for Audible a long time ago, so I kind of got like my little non-member memberships. I get on there and like, and so I listen. I'm like, okay, we'll try this one. We'll try this one. Okay, I like that narrator. Let's go see if I can find it on Libby.
Oh, that's smart.
And so, yeah, so I found one, but I had to put it on a hold. And the same with the second book, because I thought, well, I'll go ahead and put the second book. But they only have one, and so somebody has it. I'm like, these old books. Why is somebody reading my old books?
It's like they know. Well, it's like I got the email. Now, this I know was already in the US, but I got the email over the weekend that Spotify, because I have a Spotify membership, they have audiobooks now. And with your membership, you get 15 hours. What the hell is that? But my question is it 15 hours of the book, or like if I listen at double speed, is it 15 hours of my listening speed? Right? And I said, and Garrett goes, yeah, and you'd get halfway through the book and they're at full price for those audiobooks, like $40 a piece if you're going to buy them. I'm like, forget you, Spotify. I will stay with everywhere else I can get audiobooks from.
That's crazy.
True.
And Caden says, well, y'all were talking, although if you were stalking, I would be scared too. And Annie says, I don't think I understood Nancy Drew as I read them when I was 9 years old, but am enjoying them now. I like Trixie Belden better as a kid.
Well, yeah, Nancy was discussing probate law. So
It's like, so Nancy came out like with the 30s.
the early 1930s, yes.
Yeah. And so I was like, do they think that like kids' thought process back then was a lot different than they were like now? Because it's like, you know,
I'm so charmed by reading those ones because it's like, there's one book, I can't remember which one, but she like has to go to the mall, right? And it's, you could see how old fashioned is because you walk into the store and there's a woman there who serves you. Like, she will find your clothes and, oh, what are you looking for? And then, you know, in the change room and you know, oh, and then Nancy's literally like, oh, put it on my tab, and walks it with all these freaking bags, or they have to go be fitted. And I'm like, I kind of would like to live in that world.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, there's like certain things that wouldn't be too bad. It's like, you know, and it's like, well, where Lee lives and everything, she gets that service. But I'm like, can we have the gas service where like they like, you know, put in the gas and I don't have to go out?
We don't get that here either.
Honestly, that's why when I feel like when people like, I see these, you know, videos online and it's like somebody's pumping their gas and somebody like comes up behind them or something like that. And I'm like, just let somebody else pump your gas for. And I mean, I know how to pump gas, but just sit in your car, let somebody else pump your gas for you.
Well, I remember those places whenever I was a kid. There was
the full service for sure.
It was called George's, and I liked going there with my grandpa and everything because he knew the owner and everything, and he would flip coins out for me to like look in the grass, you know, and try to find them.
That's so cool.
And stuff. And he would give me a yoo-hoo and stuff. So, yeah. I was like, why don't I have those now?
But there are times that you're waiting in a line
You're
and
in a
the
hurry.
guy's not paying attention to you, and you're like, if I could just pump my own gas, I could be out of here already.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even have the choice.
It's illegal to pump your own gas.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No. Like
they're in what, Oregon? Is that the two places?
Yeah, and I remember when Oregon allowed it, and all these people had no idea what to freaking do, which was hilarious.
Here, be from Jersey, go on a road trip for the first time, leave the state, and you're a panic looking for somebody that can help you. That's not happening.
What do I do now? What do I do?
When Garrett and I were at, we went to 7-Eleven, not that over the weekend, and there's a gas station. So I pulled up, and they now have, I don't know if you guys have this in the States, but it's the windshield washer fluid, but exactly like a gas pump. So you pop the hood of your car, use your Interact debit card, or, you know, pay with your credit card, and you can fill your thing with the windshield washer fluid, exactly like a gas pump.
Oh.
I'm like, where has that been for the past, I don't know, 100 years that there have been cars? Because you buy the thing, and you either need more or less.
Yes.
It's never exactly what you know what I mean? I thought it was ingenious. Anyway, I had to share that.
That's pretty cool. No, we don't have that here.
Yeah, that's cool. Opal says, oh, another Trixie fan, and I am too. And Kim says, I read Trixie Belden as an adult too. And see, that's another one I haven't read. I haven't read Trixie. I don't remember.
I haven't read Trixie Belden either.
And the Bobbsey twins. I don't think I've read those either. I need to. And Mora says, yes. That's probably highly.
Hi.
And Opal says, that's up by me, Esther. That is awesome.
Where are you, Opal? I know you're in the West End, in Western Canada, but where? It's kind of a big area.
Annie says, I've always liked reading about the area where Trixie lived in the country.
Nice.
And Christina says, I just felt the need to cross stitch. I wonder if I have one here. If not, she'll be looking online, and it's like, what will we get here in the next couple of days so that I can cross
pretty much.
And Barbara says, no, I was on the phone with a person introduced me as Strawberry after I said my name is Barbara. My middle name is Joe. Like, who knows? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. And Opal says, here, her little town lives in my head as one of the coziest towns I've ever read. It just makes me so happy. Oh, that's great. And Christina says, is it by Ellen Hildebrand? We liking it so far. It is.
I love it. Nice.
Yeah, and like you've like read all of that author's books, right?
Yeah, read everyone. And I think she only has one more coming out. And
I was gonna say because you said she was retiring or something.
Yeah.
I thought.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
no.
do one more. Then she's going to write a book with her daughter, but nothing set on Nantucket or some younger girl. Nothing set on Nantucket though.
And Esther says, "Good night, ladies. Time for this old lady to go to sleep." Night,
Aw.
Esther. And Opal says, "Oh, that makes more sense, Sarah. I'm doing my first full read through of the original yellow hardcovers, but I'm only on number 10 now. I have a lot to go."
I found that the yellow spine ones were a little bit more, I guess kids back then were more mature.
That's what I was like, probate laws.
But it was a lot of like lawyer, a lot of that kind of thing. But when I read the case files, because those are the ones that I preferred, it was a lot more fun. It was like Nancy drove a Corvette and, blah, 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 right? So, yeah.
I have the first Nancy Drew. I think that's in the yellow spine. It's the Secret
of the Old Clock.
You say, I just haven't read it. I have it.
There you go.
And Catherine says, "Hello, friends. Didn't sleep well last night, so I just woke up from an unintentional couch nap. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope you had a nice nap. I would like one of those. I probably should have taken one, but like I was telling everybody earlier, I kind of thought it was Tuesday, and then it was like, oh, I've got to come on live, and I can't be late. Everything going. And it was only because I seen that Tiffany sent me a message saying, I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. And I was like, wait, what? Tonight?
What's happening tonight?
Like, what?
Cav said, oh, Trixie Belden forever. And Anne says, they pump gas in New Jersey? In New Jersey, still full service gas only? I thought it was. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There is one up by us, but it's north of us, and it's a reserve gas station, so a native gas station. So they pump it for you. Yeah, I do love whenever we go up that way. I'm like, yes, please fill it up.
Do they
I feel
just
so
do
fancy.
the gas, or do they like wipe your windows, do all that, ask you if you want
just
any
the
of that kind of
gas
stuff?
for us?
Yeah, I was just for Lee. I didn't know if is it.
Oh, listen, if they'll come wash your window, I'm in shock that they do it. That like doesn't happen that often. So like they'll have the little thing there. You could do your own, but
yeah,
that's it.
They're like,
every time
open your gas, get the other stuff yourself.
Every time we're out and I make Garrett get the gas, especially in the winter because it's so bloody cold and I don't want to stand outside. So he'll look at me and go, get out here and clean your windows.
And he says in Nancy Drew books, Lilac and Nancy's credit card was called a charge
plate. Yes.
Yes.
And Opal says, we live in a really small town and we went to the bigger town last weekend. And my fiance was shocked when that guy came to pump his gas and he came back saying he forgot they still do that.
That's hilarious.
And Laura says, I don't think there is anywhere here where they will pump gas for you anymore. I am an hour north of Montreal, Canada.
Oh,
Listen,
okay.
I think it was I was more nervous going to Canada and now not being comfortable pumping my own gas, and now I have to figure out liters to gallons. How much does that mean? What am I getting?
It's expensive.
Yeah, it is. And like just it doesn't make sense in your head, and I had no one to just say, can you fill it? So
oh, don't worry, it doesn't make sense in my head, and I live here. I just when it hits $30 on the pump, I'm like, all right, we're good.
there you go.
And Beth says, you'll all read Trixie. Everybody needs to read Trixie. And then Lou says, apropos of nothing, loving Sarah's nail color. So,
Merci.
Nice.
and I'm like, can you see that? Because I can't even see a color. I was like,
They're blue. Somebody at work, I was standing
okay.
there, and I was leaning against the door talking to somebody, and they walk up, oh, are you that cold? I'm like, no, that's the polish color. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, it is cold in the office.
So cold, your fingers turn blue.
Oh my God, are you dead?
Opal says, a super small town in Alberta outside of Red Deer and in between Rainwright, but I am originally from
Okanagan.
Yeah, that.
Wow. Okay, so nice. Red Deer.
And Christina, is it a series?
It's not a series. However, there is Summer of '79, which is a short story that takes place 10 years later. That was so nice to just catch up with some of the characters.
Oh, that's fun.
And Kim says, I did read some Bobbsey Twins as a child. Love the Boxcar Children books as a child. I just read the first Boxcar Children book this.
I never read those either.
Well, and I thought, I don't know, for some reason, I thought they were mystery books.
Are they
I don't
not?
know why.
They're not.
Well, the first one I
They're
read,
not?
it wasn't a mystery. It was like they were kind of running away from their grandfather, who they thought was gonna, like, I don't know, put them in a place or what they wanted. They were hiding from their grandfather, and they found this boxcar and they start living in it.
Oh.
And the one, like, that's why I said, like, back then they were just more mature or whatever, because the older one gets a job working for this one. He brings home vegetables that the girls chop, and they make the food, and it's like they're just
I'm
living.
super confused with the Boxcar Children, because, like, when did they come out? Because I feel like they came out when we were younger, but then I also feel like they came out like when my mom was. You know what I mean?
First published in 1924.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
right,
it was
I
a
was way
long
off.
time.
When my grandmother was.
And so I'm like, I don't know if they get more into it. There's mysteries or something, but the first one didn't feel like it was very
Okay, and honestly, I thought the Boxcar Children were kids that rode around in like a little box race car.
No, I knew they were on the train.
I didn't know that, and I thought like that's they solved mysteries that way. I don't know why.
Going from town to town solving.
Or just like up the block around the neighborhood. I don't know.
Yeah, a bunch of little kids in their little soapbox derby racers.
Exactly what I
love
thought.
it. I love it.
And Christina said, I just love the dedication for this book. So, and then wait, what? Ellen is retiring? My mom is going to be so upset when I tell her she's a super fan of Ellen's books. So,
I don't know how long I'll wait to read the last one that comes out, because I'll just want to like savor it forever. So
I'm picturing a misery situation with Lee and
write another book now.
exactly.
Yeah,
but
Christina,
she'd be
I
more
remember
polite
that.
about it. She'd be like, please.
Right.
She's like, I thought it was Monday last Friday, because last Friday I was on Sprints for something, and she's like, who's hosting tonight? And I was like, I don't know who's hosting tonight, but it ain't me. Because it was Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read one more. And Beth says children's literature in the early 20th century was written older than we were used to. Kids weren't kids like we think of them until mid-century or better. So even the original Winnie the Pooh stories on Curious George stories were written older than the stories that were
Well, that makes
the age
sense.
group now. Yeah, because like they were working on the farm and all that stuff. They really weren't, I guess, they probably did know a lot more than like when we were growing up.
Yeah, true.
Than us stupid children.
Okay, so we should probably get some reading in. So
Alrighty.
we will read to the top of the hour, and happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the time. How did everybody do?
You're muted.
Well, that's helpful. I read about 2 chapters in The Cursed by Heather Graham, so I think I'm on chapter 10 or 11 now.
Cool.
I ate
Enjoy.
dinner, which was homemade pizza, and got to chapter 3 of Amish Country Secrets.
Nice.
I had to go downstairs. I was telling Sarah earlier, my dad, the big dog that we have outside, ran like straight at him and jumped on him and knocked him down.
Oh.
And so he kind of hurt his ankle. And so he's like, you're going to have to bring the dog in. So I seen that message like right when I did a reading sprint. I'm like, you're lucky I just did a reading sprint and now I can get that. So to do that. So then I decided I'm going to start the honeymoons can be hazardous.
Nice.
For the Amish matchmaking one and get started. So I'm 10% into that one. I can already tell that Lois is probably going to be in trouble.
How did you know?
And so I told her I think we're going to probably have to try to rehome Rascal. He's just too rambunctious. He hasn't settled down. He runs at like full speed like all the time, and Dad's going to be 76 this month, and so I can't have him knocking him down like that all the time.
Yeah.
So.
No.
He's just lucky that he just hurt his ankle and it wasn't something else.
My cousin's dogs are very wild, and they jumped on my aunt, and she had to like get surgery because they like the claw, like his paw, like ripped up.
Wow.
It's bad.
Well, he the other day he jumped up and got Dad, but he's like, well, didn't leave a mark, but he had hit him or whatever. And he's sweet. He really is a sweet dog. He has ADHD or something. I don't know.
He's not malicious. He's just excitable.
Yeah.
He's got the zoomies all the time. Just he can't stand still for like a minute. He's back and forth. You'll think, oh look, he's laying down, but then you look back like a minute later and he's zoom. He just can't.
Yeah.
And so Opal says, oh, see, this guy last weekend did our windows too, since Wes clearly was already pumping his own gas. And Christina said, it's very important to keep your windshields clean, Sarah. I was told this by a truck driver when I was on the road back in my 20s. He said that a dirty windshield will tire your eyes and you could fall asleep while driving. I didn't know.
I know, and I mean I do. It's just the fact that he makes me get out.
Right.
It's one of those, I'm pumping the gas, you can get out and clean the windows.
Right, exactly.
You're also driving the car, Sarah, so he should clean the window.
And may I also add paying for it.
No. There you go.
And then Kim was asking Christina, is what a series? I don't know what that is. And Maura says, exactly, Sarah and Lee, LOL. And it's been a while, so I don't remember what we were talking about there either.
No, just that you just pump until you don't have any money left, and that's pretty much all the car's getting.
Right.
And Annie said to Beth, so true, I have a book from 1896 for kids, Chatterbox, and it's like a newspaper with politics, geography lessons, etc. Any fiction in it has a moral lesson.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, B says, Mama Needs to Love Romance says, Monday night reading sprints? You do this every Monday? How awesome. I do, and we rotate. Sarah does some on Mondays, and
I will be next Monday.
Rotate it around. And Kim says, I might read some of these books for Old School April. That's what I was like.
Great idea.
Old School April, I need some things that were like really easy or whatever. So like most of my Old School April books have been middle grade books. I even have a Bernstein Bear one out. It was really hard. Like I was trying to find number 1. And I couldn't figure it out when I was on like Goodreads. Like they're not numbered or what, and it's just like I was like, oh well.
Is there really a plot that you need to follow in the bear?
I said there's one of the prompts is to read a Halloween book, and you get an extra prompt or whatever. So I got a Halloween Bernstein Bear.
There you go. It worked.
Because I was like, I remember reading these whenever I was little. So
that's delightful.
And Christina said, I used to have a whole boxcar series, trying to collect them again. Well, that's cool. And Kim says, it seems like boxcar had some mystery to them. That's why I was like, maybe just not like the first one really didn't seem very, but maybe when you get further on in the series and they're doing things and everything. And I always thought it's called the Boxcar Children, but they only live in the boxcar for like that, like first book. Because I mean, I don't think they're going to be living in it all the time. At least I don't think, from reading the first book. So I'm like, why is it called the Boxcar Children? And Christina says, I was asking about Summer of 69. Oh, okay. That's the series that they were talking about. And Beth says, exactly. Chatterbox was a weekly paper for kids with annual bind-ups. It ran almost 100 years, spanned UK and the US, and provided political, religious, and moral stories.
Interesting.
And then she says, I promise I'm not a know-it-all. We just studied those in one of my children's lit courses last summer. Not often my PhD work comes up outside of my own head. I get excited.
Share away. Share away.
Well, it's like, I know that you're getting your like PhD in like middle grade literature, so you should know all of these things where I don't know like the history of middle grade.
Oh, good Lord, no, that's amazing.
Like that. I might know a lot about like middle grade horror and things like that, but like the history, I don't know. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And Amy says, my husband just got home from work, so I'm going to get off now. Thank you for the sprints, ladies, and good night, everyone. Good night. I'm probably gone already, but good night. And said it got to 16% in the Blueberry Blender by Magnifier.
Excellent.
And DeShannon said, hi, all. Just finished Geared for the Grave by Duffy Brown. I didn't love it. Anyone?
I'm trying to
don't even know what that is. So.
But I rated it. Hold on.
Oh, there we go. We have a taker.
Good. We have a stray cat crying outside too.
Aww.
It's not an all. They're well fed by everybody in the neighborhood.
Okay.
They're fed every day. Yeah, they're not out there starving.
Oh my God, that reminds me. Sorry, as you're looking that up, I got to tell you. So I embarrassed the crap out of myself in front of our neighbors. So I got home from work the other day, and there was this ratty-looking dog across the street in the driveway. No collar, no leash. And I'm like, oh, and it was cold. And I'm like, here, puppy. Come here, puppy. And the man walks out of his house and goes, why are you calling my dog? I thought he was... Sorry, sir.
It was stray. I wrote 3 stars. At first, I thought the story was just okay and thought I wasn't going to continue with the series. When Evie's mom shows up, the story picks up. That was it. So.
There you go.
And I
did you continue with the series?
I did continue with the series.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anita finished her book and gave it 3 stars, and I would do all this kind of good stuff like Tiffany.
We can do this and we can pretend. So sorry for Tiffany.
We can pretend.
Yeah.
And Anita said, thanks for the sprints and the laughs. I'm going to walk my dog, so I will say good night. Be safe, everyone. Good night. Kim said, I hear Lee telling you it's hard to keep up with the chat and the video sometimes. Yeah. Talking about this book and that book, and when we go here and then we go there, and then people in the chat are talking, and then it's like,
remember the conversation for this one, go to another thing. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. And Kim says, okay, going to start What's So Funny? Tim Conway autobiography. I love him.
Oh, nice.
Cool. And then Kim said, most Mondays it rotates, and as to who is the main host. Yeah, thank you, Kim. And Annie says, got 35%, and Sue made to 50%, halfway there. Woohoo! And Jenny said, read another 27 pages. Who says, my dog is so high-spirited, she's on Prozac. Yeah, that's kind of this one. He probably needs something because he I mean, it's just funny. Like, we have to keep him in like a cage at night, and so you like let him out. I open the door first in my living room, then I raise the latch, and he whoosh out the door he goes. And I mean, it's like these big full-on gallop.
Aw.
It's crazy. It's like, get out of the way, or you're going to get ran over.
Gonna get run over, yeah.
Mhm. And Donna says in chapter 6 of 17 of The Amish Bridegroom, liking it so far.
Mm-hmm.
And Christina said I got to 60%. Woohoo! And yes, it can be hard to keep up, Kim. I understand that, yes. Hi, Rachel says, hello, lovelies. Hope you're having a magnificent day. Hope you had one too.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim says, I read Picture Book, Library Mouse. I like Library Mouse. I have read a couple of those for Old School April. It was really cute. I'm thinking about going to try and read the rest of them, yes. I need to get back to that series. Like, it's a picture book series. Come on. I should have already read all of them, right?
In one sitting.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's like back to back. That'd be like one little chapter book, reading like all of them back to back. And technically, I have to get it in children's lit. You know, one is just the middle grade doesn't exist. That's why I'm pushing my research in that direction. There's no academic scholarship. We deserve more. Yeah, you would think that. I mean, nowadays I could see like early on they didn't really classify, but now there's so much that is just classified middle grade that they would have.
Same with YA. YA is huge.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, I was working on the draft of an essay, my Shakespeare final, due for peer review by midnight tomorrow. Finished page 6, 25 minutes.
You got this, Beth. You got it.
No worries.
And Donna says
I did notice, speaking of YA, when I was in the library last weekend, there used to be, when I was that age, they had the spinner racks. That's where all the Nancy Drew books were, right? They don't have that anymore. Everything is just hardcover now, like all of them. And I'm thinking, how can kids afford to buy these books? Like, if you were going to purchase them, Yeah. It's interesting seeing the shift from our YA to now YA.
Our spinner racks in the library books are romances.
That's true now.
Those are the best.
Yeah. And Donna says the only book I've read by Ellen Hildebrand was Summer of '69, as it turned 21 that summer and witnessed the historical events talked about in the book and more. I put it on my 2019 favorite show.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely had a lot of that, like going into all the things that were going on during that time. So that's a big part of it.
Barb says, Sarah, instead of reading for the page count, can I read reviews for sugar-free Harbor gummy bears on Amazon? I think maybe it might be the Harbor ones, because I've been reading them and they're so funny. I peed myself, because there are some very, very comical reviews on there because it upsets people's tummies.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. When you hear what people say, it's hilarious.
I think it's like the Haribos. I think it is.
Yes, Haribos.
My husband loves those, but not the sugar-free ones, the regular ones.
Yeah, have him read some reviews. What people write about them are absolutely hilarious.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And Berna Campbell, hi, says, hello, I'm almost finished with the reappearance of Rachel Price. 89% done. Sarah,
what do you think about it? Because I finished it.
Yeah, I need to get to that one because I've read her other ones.
Well, I gave my copy to my brother to give to my niece. Mm-hmm. She's ecstatic. She's like,
You already have it? Ooh.
Yeah. Do I have to give it back? I said, no, I'm done reading. You read it?
And it's kind of one of those, I can keep it.
And she's like, it came out last week. Like this. Like,
And Andy says, last time I went to value the Chatterbox books, they were selling for $20 DP.
Wow.
And Nancy says the Big Honey Hut 1962 first Bernstein bear. Well, look at that. We got smart people in there that can find.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's part of the mandala effect thing, the Bernstein.
Yeah, Berenstein or Berenstain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like when I say Chris Grabenstein or Grabenstein.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's one of those.
Yep.
And Christina says, thanks for the sprints today, Stormy and co-host Sarah and Lee. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And you have a good night too, Christina.
Have a good night.
Mm-hmm.
And Annie says, old books that are so precious to us are often not valued by most people, I guess. Yeah. And it depends. It's like when you go look at something, because I do eBay and stuff like that, and I'm trying to find things to resell or whatever. And it's like, something people think that something, because it's old, it's worth like a lot of money. And it's like, it's not just because it's old. Certain things that are old are worth money, but not everything.
Yeah. And it's what people are willing to pay for them at the end of the day.
That's very
Well,
true.
just like my old baseball cards, like they call the era that I collected baseball cards like the junk wax era. They made a whole bunch of them, so they're really not valuable at all.
Yeah,
unless it's like some of the Hall of Famers or things like that, or you just have people that they're collecting, all of the pirates or all of that, and so they want to get them or trying to get their collection or whatever it is. But you'll see people like they want to price the stuff out of them, like. I have a binder full of these 1987 and they want $40 for it. And it's like, I can't even get like $1 for one of those cards. Right. And you want, so it's like,
we had boxes and boxes. My dad had boxes and boxes of the hockey cards from the same time period, the 80s. And, after he died, they just sat in the garage and my mom was going to toss them all. And Garrett's like, let me go through them first. Like very, right. Just to make absolutely sure that there was nothing. Yeah. And there wasn't.
Yeah.
But he gave him something to do.
There you go.
Hey, Stephanie says, enjoying Murder at the Beacon Rock from the Gilded Newport series. I need to try that series. And Annie says, the Haribo commercials sure are funny, though.
Mm-hmm.
And Roberta says, I just wanted to finish it. Finally, hello, the girl is a brat.
Thank you. And I'm reading the reviews going, did nobody else read the same book as I did? Like, she was a pain in the rear.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that you weren't.
I almost got to the point where, like, I don't care that your mother disappeared. There's clearly a reason.
That's funny.
And Kim says, oh my goodness, those reviews came up in the Google just sugar-free gummies.
Okay, I'm going to look that up after we're done here.
Mm-hmm. And Christina says, things are really only worth what someone is willing to pay, yes, other than sentimental value, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
And Berta said, I don't usually read YA.
Yeah, me neither.
This book's probably not making her read anymore either.
Yeah. And Morris said, thanks for the fun evening. As always, you are welcome. And does any of you ladies have anything coming out on your channel? Go through that real
Nothing
quick.
Other than probably my daily vlogs. Eventually, I'll do a couple of those.
And I need to go look at the one from yesterday because I need to see the book haul thing.
I have a my May TBR coming out, but I also need to film and edit that tonight for tomorrow. So, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, goodness. I haven't even thought about my... It is getting to that time, I guess.
You're hosting, too. You need to
I know. I'm like, I'm hosting like a middle grade May. I should at least think of something to read.
Yeah, I got to watch all your videos so I can get some ideas of what piques my interest for some middle grade.
Yeah, I have been trying to make I'm trying to make a middle grade. Like if you like fantasy, try these books. If you like mysteries, try this book. If you like horror, try these books. Of the ones that I've actually read, so I'm like,
sure.
And so I think maybe some of them might fit everybody's kind of broad spectrum of different kinds.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
And so PK is on a few times this week, and next Monday on Sarah's, and Sunday there is no Sunday, unless I don't know if she was going to get to you because Elizabeth said something yesterday. You weren't on at the time, Sarah, about taking Tiffany's Sunday spot for Amish in April. I didn't know.
I'll talk to Elizabeth. We're either going to do it Saturday or Sunday, but if we do Sunday, it won't be the later ones like Tiffany does. It'll probably be earlier in the day.
Yeah, so I know.
At least for me.
If you do it too early, I can't be there. But if you do it after at least 1 o'clock, then I'm okay.
Well, pardon me. Let me just put this all around Storm's schedule. Hold on. Let me make a note.
At least on Sundays, because I have to get home from church.
Oh, no, that's okay. Fair. I'll let you go to church. All right. That's fair.
And Beth says, I should probably make a recommendation. But yes, you should.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura says, I am looking forward to May TBR so that I can get some ideas for middle grade May. Yeah.
I think the good thing, though, is that we did keep all of our prompts, for the most part, very general.
Yeah.
So you could read a lot of different things.
Yeah, I was like, because I'm actually, when I made mine, I'm like, I really don't even know what I want to read right now. So I need very general prompts so that I can be like, oh, this will fit. Okay.
She's like, it's a book. It opens up and there's pages inside.
There are words in it.
Because that's kind of how I've been like all week or all month long. This month, it's been like, oh, that one fits for old school April and it's short. And okay, I'll read that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me, ladies, and everybody in the chat. And we'll let you guys go so that you can go to bed because I know you're probably tired.
Turning into a pumpkin.
Yeah, those are my kind of prompts. You have the vague ones. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So see y'all. Bye.
Thanks, Norm.
Thanks.